Greetings. So I wanted to address the issue of our current president, and that would be Donald Trump, and this whole Greta scene. And I would like to do from the vantage point of the cosmic perspective. So before anyone gets too excited and has too many comments to say, maybe just hear this out and feel how it resonates with your soul. I'm going to also suggest that you put aside your emotional triggers for a moment. Whatever has been done or appears to have been done or has been reported to have been done, or what it looks like is being reported or done by this president, just put those emotional triggers aside for a moment. Just see if you can. Because if you cannot, then everything that you are running from is an emotional trigger. So if we can understand that, number one, this current president is about emotionally triggering humanity. That is one of his number one jobs. As we are stepping through this gateway that has been going on since 2012 and actually been going on through eons of time to get us here to this collective cosmic ascension point where we're ready to birth and step into a new earth. How did you think we're going to get there? From the old asleep earth that's running old death disease paradigms that are disempowering, where others are holding power away from the people and with the guise and the appearance of freedom, where really there isn't full disclosure about anything, about health treatments, about free energy, about our galactic brother and sisterhood, about many inventions, awarenesses, wisdoms, quantum technologies, and so forth that have not been shown the people, have not been given to the people. And why has it been happening? Why have we been exploiting capitalism and making it all about money on this planet, and taking, not to say that money is inherently bad, but there has been an over-focus away from connecting to divine spiritual self and toward the generation of profit. And we see this in the pharmaceutical industry, we see this in government, we see this with the flawed Federal Reserve and this, so many systems. So since we've been coming from a corrupt system, a system that is not sustainable any longer and could not sustain any further, we had to have an intervention. And when things are messy in the subconscious and in the psyche and in the unconscious of the collective, which is just true because of the cycles that we've been in, we think of, history lessons, right? Think of going back to ancient Rome, or think of going back to any time where there's been things going on where you realize, we're coming from that, massive war, massive destruction, massive torture, massive inquisition, burning of witches, the way that people used to be treated just for stealing, getting their hands chopped off or whatever. Like, this is all in the psyche of humanity, right? So it's just been in this short period of time where you and I have been alive, where we think we have all these freedoms and so forth, but there's really been this power that's been working under the scene, that's largely in a lot of these systems that have needed to be uprooted from our collective psyche and actually from the physical reality itself, in order for us to change to a truly free system where we're back on the frequency of love and we remember who we are and we're co-creating together and we're not exploiting other humans and we're not exploiting the earth. And all of these we're moving toward in the new earth, that we're coming from and through this timeline, this paradigm where some really dark stuff has been going on. And a lot of it's been under the surface, and it's been in the quiet, secret places, right? So not only have we had the mysteries of enlightenment and connecting to spirit going on that we've been uncovering through practices of yoga or meditation or some of these old, esoteric teachings, we also have the dark on the other side, the more destructive and life-sucking version both of these are being revealed at the same time. So we have this person in our presidential seat right now that is not connected in the same way. He's not part of this dark elite cabal that has been running the scene. He has his own money, his own scene. His deal when he came in was wanting to take that all down. He has awareness of it because of his financial status, I believe. But his positioning there on a cosmic level has been to stir things up and disrupt the scene so much that we could become aware of all these things. If you look what's happened since this president came into office, yeah, there might be things that really disturb you, but a lot of that is information that you didn't know was going on. Even the separation of children at the borders has been going on way longer than this president. This is not this president's doing. So there's a lot of things that are being uncovered in this world and in this country that is uncomfortable, that many of us need a scapegoat and are happy to point fingers at the president when really there's a lot of it's on our own shoulders for being completely oblivious to the world around us. That's just been part of our evolutionary process. We've been like, oh, everything's taken care of. I'm just, send my kids to school, go to work, whatever, pay my taxes. But that ignorance, that's actually really what's rising up in people, is our anger at our own self for having been blind to the reality that we're now waking up to. I think this is the truth. And so as we're waking up to it, I'm like, oh, okay, there's a lot of dark that has to come up before we really reach that point where the new earth can shine. There is a cleansing, there is a purging, there is a releasing. And there are those who would not like this to happen, that you might call the dark elite, that it's of great interest to them for people to not wake up, for people to just stay asleep and not become aware and not understand what's been going on, siphoning their life force energy through just being like zombies to a system that they're not questioning. And that is including giving your money to corrupt pharmaceutical companies and to corrupt other systems of government and so forth. That time is needing to shift. That time is needing to change, and love is coming in. And Donald Trump is a strange figure. He is a wild card. You don't know what he's going to do next. And that keeps everyone distracted just enough so that there can be this purge going on that, frankly, he doesn't care what people think of him, which I think is a great quality in an aware person. And you might argue that point. I don't care, actually. I actually don't care what you think of me. It doesn't hurt my feelings at all. And on this Greta thing, bless her heart, she's a young person. She's being exploited to talk about an issue that is fabricated. I'm not saying we're not doing bad things to the earth and we shouldn't stop. But this whole climate change thing is not what she is making it out to be, is not even these numbers. The earth is going through a transformation too. The earth is going through an awakening too, is shifting its location in the cosmos and is unveiling and awakening its inner Kundalini fire, just like you and I. And there's going to be a hot and a cold, just like in our own body. When we wake up, we go through an alternating hot and cold current that awakens our psychic centers, and it flushes and dumps all these things from our psyche and from the old paradigm and from our brain. And actually we have an evil ruler in our bodies that tries to make it look like it's all terrible. That's our ego self. And Donald Trump is representing that for each of us. Let's chew on that for a moment. So, because if you're lashing out at him, you got some stuff in there to take care of. Because if you're in love and harmony, and you love yourself and you trust the universe, and you're like doing the next thing you're told to do, you're not like tearing somebody down. You're not spending your time picking someone apart or calling them an asshole or whatever. Like, to me, that's a very interesting stance to take. So he's representing. Nothing external is only external. It's representative. So if you've gotten good with your ego and you've given your own ego a job, then you recognize the job that Donald Trump has right now. And if you haven't given your ego a job, and your ego is running amok in your own psyche and fighting with you about your own body symptoms or your own emotions or your own childhood trauma, or you haven't dealt with or healed your own system, of course you're going to be pissed off at this external version that's reflecting what you still need to take care of inside. And I say that lovingly. I know it's not an easy process. I know it's not. And every single thing that you think you see him do, what if there's a flip side? And of course, to think this way, you have to trust the cosmos. You have to go into a big picture. And you have to say, what would it look like? Is this what it looks like when humanity is waking up en masse? I mean, it is what it looks like on an individual level. When an individual is waking up, there is a lot of crap that comes out. There is a lot of purging. There is even, like foul odors or bad mannerisms, or, things that aren't really that person. It's not really them. It's just old patterns playing out while they're purging, and it's coming out. And you just have to like love them and hold space and know they're doing the hard work of awakening. And then imagine doing that for a whole nation or a world. He's kind of representative of the world awakening. And I mean, I only love the guy as a cosmic being, like I love you. I don't have like special affinity for him, but I understand his placement. And so I respect the difficulty that it must be to hold the space in the way that he's doing it. And that few people in our history, few presidents have attempted to reveal what he is revealing. And they were assassinated. JFK, Abraham Lincoln. So he's only the third here. And, as much as I don't like the guy but I actually kind of respect the guy, and I probably would get along with him because I understand when you're doing your job, like sometimes you look like an asshole or a bitch, or you're saying stuff that people don't get because they're functioning from an emotional trigger. And he's actually emotionally triggering everybody, and it's actually quite advanced. It's a city, if you will. It's an advanced capability to trigger this many people and get this much done. And by say getting done, like we've had mass arrests on massive human trafficking and pedophilia and a bunch of stuff going down under the surface with organizations that we have trusted that are now revealing during this administration time, including Big Pharma, including all this stuff coming up about vaccinations, what we're learning, what's coming out in the public eye, and we thank social media and so forth for allowing a platform for that to come out. But anything that distracts us from the ascension process, holding the love, that's why I'm just like, oh yeah, he's doing his job, like just keep to the ascension. Like I'm only doing this video because so many of you have asked, what is my opinion? Why could I stand up for this guy? Like, why? And I'm like, I mean, it's touchy because it's not like I'm standing up for him, but I am, because I'm like, come on, you guys, like, don't you have a job? Like, stick to your job in the ascension. Stick to your job and be love and hold space and recognize what he's doing. Recognize what he's doing. A lot of masterful people have tactics that aren't pleasing to the base human palate. And I'm really going off a trust factor, like an innate trust. Like when he was elected, that was not what I necessarily wanted, but I also was like, something in me feels actually excited about this time. And as I'm watching, I'm kind of like, I'm not getting involved in the drama because I trust we're in the ascension. I trust there's a lot bigger picture than this country and Donald Trump. This is just like a small part of a bigger scheme of events playing out. And so, again, to be distracted into this climate change thing, I'm not saying continue to trash Mother Earth. No, like, take care of Mama. But what I am saying is don't allow your energy, your cosmic Kundalini life force, to get distracted into an issue and get emotionally inflamed by it, because then you are feeding a vampirical energy, an old system that wants your fear, wants your emotional charge, wants you to be unplugged from the ascension and plugged into fighting and, this corruption energy and this like battling who's right and who's wrong. And even about Donald Trump, like if you're going to fight about it, like nobody's winning. Your energy is not benefiting when you're doing that. Like if we're going to talk about it, let's be mature humans. And if we have emotional triggers, let's dig into our own past and our own psyche and find where they actually come from. Heal that stuff so that we can become present with what is and hold space for the healing of the collective. Because that's what's really needed, is more of us that can hold the container for all this trauma coming up for everybody. That yes, it seems like very insensitive Donald Trump is triggering all these wounds. And it hurts. It hurts to get those wounds triggered, but it is necessary. So all those people in your life that have triggered you, they were necessary in your healing process. Yeah, we don't always want to just sit there and keep getting the wound pushed. So look somewhere else. Like look within. Take a bath. Take care of your family, your children. Give it up to God or the universe. Like trust in a higher power. Trust. Put your focus and attention on the world you want to see. And watch that Greg Braden video I just posted on my Facebook feed, where he's describing how our very attention and our gratitude is what heals. And we can heal collectively the entire fabric of reality by finding what we're grateful for right now, not what we disagree and want to argue about. Let's not inflate that reality anymore. Let's become grateful together. I'm grateful for our togetherness. I'm grateful for this adventure we're on, for the uncovering of our galactic selves, for the releasing of collective trauma. I'm grateful for those of you who've shown up and shown your pains, who've shown your successes. I'm grateful for all that I've been through that have allowed me to land here, that have been highs and lows, difficult journeys, painful ones, but have deepened my experience of life. I'm grateful. Grateful to you for your place that you hold in reality. Remember who you are. Remember that you are love. This is all a play that we're in, that we're unveiling. Like the point is we're ascending. That's the point. You don't want to be on the old trajectory where you go back through the recycle chain again, and go back to full density and start over. You don't want to go that way. So go into gratitude. Go into gratitude. And we can send Donald Trump some love and Greta some love and the whole world some love. And just, we got this.